Alright guys, welcome back to 900 Bowling Pro Shop Reviews. Today we got the Hammer 3D Offset Assault. So this one's going to be interesting. I think it came out in the same time as the Widow Mania, so it's going to be a little bit overshadowed by, of course, a Black Widow. But this ball for me has been pretty good. It's very strong, very good asim to control the mid lane with. So I actually like to use this a little more when I'm playing on more challenge patterns. This is allowing me to read the mid lane, kind of get a good read. It is a hybrid cover stock, so it does have a little bit more pop in the back than my Extreme Envy, which I'm also going to be throwing here as well today. And I'm going to compare that as well as with the Pure Envy, which kind of is in that hybrid spot in the bag as well. And then lastly, just to see what it's like compared to like my benchmark ball and the asim side, then we're going to have the Hammer Effect Tour. So we're going to have a little bit of a comparison video, but let me just throw some shots with this. I've thrown probably 2 league sessions already with it and been very happy with the results I've been getting. So I'm going to be pretty deep with this just because I know how early this ball wants to hook. We'll start around 27 with my feet on this house shot here. So try to get it just right of 20, break point at 8. So you can see that one I gave it a little bit more rotation, so the ball did feed a little further down lane before coming back. I'm gonna throw a little bit more stock release. I did feel like I missed it on the bottom, that's why I kind of turned it a little bit. Took out the 9-pin, which is good. But I can see how the ball is kind of just reading that mid lane in the right spot, even though I turned that one. And that's why I like it, because it just seems very controllable. Just gonna throw a better one than that. Right, and that one's a little more forward. Got it same spot. Got it to the right, just around 5. Anywhere outside on a house shot, of course, gonna scream back. The one thing I want everyone to key notice on is how that ball didn't really burn out. If I threw something a lot more aggressive, a lot stronger, I assume the ball is gonna burn out as soon as I give it too much angle. And that's why I said I'm a big fan of this ball right now. So I'm gonna throw this a little tighter just to see what it does in the oil a little bit. Move, let's go 3, and then we'll go 20, 21 at the arrows, give or take, and just keep it a little tighter in line. But you can see, keep it a little tighter, still reads up, so that ball really wants to pick up regardless if you're in the oil or in the dry. So that just means in a house shot setting, I gotta get a little bit more left, definitely give it some room. But I assume this ball is just gonna keep picking up and not really looking like it's trying to puke out either. It did come sharp for a 3-6-10, so I'm gonna keep chasing it in the oil. I'm not gonna throw it so far wide just to kind of see not that big of a shape, but let's see what it keeps going when I keep chasing left. I'm gonna go another 6 left. A lot tighter. Roughly around 10 at the break there, so that's why I said it's going to be that versatile piece for me in the asim slot. That's kind of not really exactly a benchmark yet, just because I think the Hammer Effect Tour is still a little slower off the spot, so I kind of want to use that to kind of do the transition phase when I'm getting in trouble. But if I had to guess right now, it's closer to the Pure Envy. It hooks a little less than the Pure Envy because the Pure Envy comes off pretty sharp for me off the spot, but it's kind of in between the Extreme Envy and that. And I think I was always looking for an excuse in time to retire the Extreme Envy, just haven't had a chance because nothing came close to it. I think it might actually be the chance. So right now I'm gonna throw the Extreme Envy. It is a little bit fresher cover stock, so might feel a little earlier on the break. Let's start me being a 22 again. I'm gonna get it right again. The first couple of strikes I threw. See what happens when the Extreme Envy plays a little bit more angle. Good shot, 9-pin unfortunately, but you can see that the ball, when it gets to that spot outside around 3 to 5 area, the ball actually just kind of slows down and kind of stays forward. So it doesn't really flip over. Could be a little bit on the cover, but I think naturally the ball itself, the Extreme Envy is just that slow. So that's why I always had a use for it. But this 3D offset seems to come pretty close to it for me to have the idea to say, maybe I can finally replace it because I have way too many balls in my arsenal and it's probably around like 8 ASIMs right now. So I'm gonna throw one more shot of what I would do to adjust to it. I think the simple adjustment for me with the Extreme Envy is always close up my angles. So I'm gonna move a little left, move it a little tighter. Got a lucky break there. I didn't throw it that good off the hand. It wasn't as clean. But you can see that, yeah, as soon as I moved the angles tighter, the ball stayed forward, but it got through the pins in the right angle. Obviously tripped the 4-9, but that being said, I think if I threw it a little faster, it was better off my hand. It would have been a lot better. The next ball I want to compare is that Pure Envy, okay? Start that same shot again. 22, cross 17 out to like 5. Yeah, and like I said, I assumed it was gonna hook out of the building, and that's been kind of the story of the ball. So if I ever find like I need hook, the Pure Envy is the way, as long as it starts up. If it starts up early enough, but that's my biggest ASIM block with the most hook with that HK22C cover on this Pure Envy. So I'm probably gonna at least chase this another 4 to 5 left, probably closer to where I was or finished with the 3D offset assault, but probably still give an angle away from the pocket. I'll keep my angles a little steeper, get it out. All right, so I crossed around 19 at the arrows there, got it out to like 7, 8. That thing is that much more of a hook, so I'm just getting way far left compared to everything else, but sometimes, especially on a house shot, it might be too much, or on a sport shot, it's too much hook to control. So I don't really need that much hook sometimes, and it's not necessary. That's why I think the 3D offset being in between the two, the Extreme Envy and the Pure Envy, that's why I kind of like it right now. They're pretty good in a tournament over the weekend as well with it, and pretty much used it for all the games in qualifying and match play. Last, we're gonna do the Effect Tour, which is pretty much my benchmark ball right now. Go back to that first shot. 22, 17 at the arrows, 5. Right, you see how pretty much it just reads that much earlier, and it kind of slows down and traps the pocket. And that's why I kind of like it as that benchmark ball. It kind of just doesn't really miss the break. I do have a little bit of more surface on it right now because I was going to use it for other tournaments and stuff like that, but it just kind of reads, stays forward, but has a little bit more pop than the Extreme Envy still, so it's not as big of a core as the Extreme Envy. That's where it would be. Didn't actually get out to 5 because of how early it read, not because, you know, I got it that much left a target, but because it read so early, I'm gonna try moving a little left just to see what it'll do. I'm expecting maybe a flat 10 to be honest, because it might be too early for this thing to corner back. Let's see what happens. Okay, got away with it, mixer, but you can see it loses energy pretty much as I get too far left, and that's what I like about a benchmark ball. It just tells me right away what my angles are. I'm too deep with it, I'm too early with it. It just gives me that information. That's why we call it a benchmark ball. Not necessarily is it always the ball we use, but it's the ball that tells me what the lane's doing. And that is the closest comparison between the 4 balls I have right now that's in the bag in terms of solid or hybrid. Just early mid-lane reads that keeps me in the pocket, controls the break point, and especially for tournament patterns, right? So I think I'm gonna be using this. Even on house shots, I think I could be using this 3D offset a little bit more just because of the natural shine. It is a lot shinier than it is out of box already. I'm gonna throw a couple more. And play around with the angles a little. We'll go back to where I was left. I'm gonna give it a little rotation this time actually and try to see if I can do that Pure Envy line. So way cleaner than the pure Envy. So it completely missed the break point as soon as I rotated the ball. So that's probably too far or too much of an adjustment. If I need to do that, I probably need to just slow down a little bit just to give it some room to come back. Let me try to make an adjustment off that shot, and then I'll throw 2 good ones, and then we'll wrap it up. And that's just me slowing it down a hair just to get the ball shaping more. Same launch angle, same break point, same rotation. Slowing it down, getting the ball to read. That's the difference between that 210 and, you know, luckily Messenger 10 pin. I'm gonna throw a couple of shots where I think it's supposed to be played, just to see the final shots of this ball, and we'll wrap it up. All right, one more good one. All right, thanks for watching, guys.